My husband started coming home late, smelling like cheap perfume. When I confronted him, he smirked and said, "You're just insecure." Suspicious, I placed a GPS tracker in his car. The next night, it led me straight to my best friend's house. I waited outside, heart racing, and when they walked out laughing, I rolled down my window. Their faces turned pale as I whispered, "Hope you two enjoyed your last night together." Hey Reddit, I've been holding on to this for a long time. I wasn't sure if I should even talk about it, but it's been eating me alive. I'm a 42-year-old woman living in Columbus, Ohio. I've been married to my husband, Jason, for 17 years. Or, I was. I don't know what we are now. This whole thing broke me in ways I didn't think possible. Jason and I met when I was 24. I was working at a local bakery, and he came in every morning for coffee and a chocolate muffin. We clicked fast. He was charming, funny, the kind of guy who remembered small things you said weeks ago. I'd never felt that seen by anyone. We got married a year later. It wasn't a fancy wedding, just something small at a courthouse with a dinner at Olive Garden afterward. We were happy. I swear, we were. For years, everything seemed fine. Sure, there were ups and downs. He worked as a logistics coordinator, lots of overtime, late-night calls. I ran a small Etsy shop from home, custom wreaths and farmhouse-style decor, that kind of stuff. I stayed busy, he stayed busy. We didn't have kids, not by choice, just never happened. But we had our routine. Friday night takeout, Sunday morning coffee walks at the Scioto Mile. Then about 8 months ago, he started changing. At first, it was small. He'd come home later than usual. Not crazy late, just enough to make me notice. He started taking extra showers. At first, I thought he might just be stressed, working more. But then came the smell. Cheap perfume. Not mine. I don't wear perfume often, and when I do, it's a subtle vanilla scent. This wasn't that. It was something strong, floral, almost headache-inducing. I'd smell it on his collar, on the passenger seat of his car, on his skin. When I finally asked him about it, he laughed. Actually laughed. And said, "You're just insecure." That sentence, it hit like a slap. I brushed it off for a bit. I didn't want to be the crazy wife. But the little things kept stacking up. His phone was always face down. He suddenly had a password on it. He started working out more, buying new clothes, even shaving parts of his body he never did before. And still, I doubted myself. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was letting my imagination get the better of me. Then came the night he didn't come home until 3 a.m. No call. No text. I stayed up the whole night. Pacing. Staring at my phone. Thinking maybe he was in an accident. When he walked in, he looked surprised to see me awake. Said he had to help a coworker move. At 3 in the morning? Dressed in cologne and wearing a wrinkled shirt with lipstick on the collar? I didn't even say anything. I just nodded and went to bed. I knew something was going on. I just needed proof. So I got smart. I bought a small GPS tracker online. It was magnetic, tiny, and easy to stick under his back bumper. Took all of 5 seconds while he was in the shower one night. Then I waited. The next evening, he said he had a late meeting. I kissed him goodbye, told him to drive safe. Then I opened the app and watched his little blue drive across town, straight to a 2-story house on the west side. I froze. That house belonged to Megan, my best friend since I was 19. We met in college, bonded over bad cafeteria food and cheap vodka. She was in my wedding. I was in hers. We'd cried together, laughed until our stomachs hurt, shared secrets nobody else knew. She was family. I felt like my heart dropped through the floor. I didn't want to believe it. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe she wasn't home. Maybe they weren't. No. No more excuses. I got in my car and drove over. Parked across the street. Lights were on inside. His car was in her driveway. I sat there for almost an hour. Watching. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe. Then they came out. Laughing. Holding takeout bags. She touched his arm. He leaned close to her. They looked like a damn couple. Like all these years didn't mean a thing. I rolled my window down. They both froze. Jason's face went white. Megan dropped her drink. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I just said, calm as I could, hope you two enjoyed your last night together. Then I drove away. But I wasn't done. I wanted them to feel what they did. Not just know it. Feel it. The next morning, I packed Jason's clothes into black trash bags. Set them by the door. Changed the locks. I called his job and left a message for HR. Something about him using company time and resources for personal business. I don't know if it did anything, but it made me feel better. Then I made a Facebook post. No names. Just, if you're cheating on your wife with her best friend, maybe don't do it at her house. GPS exists. So do front row seats to your downfall. The comments poured in. People knew. People guessed. I didn't confirm, but I didn't deny. And Megan? She tried to call me. Sent texts. It wasn't like that. I didn't mean for it to happen. We were just talking. Talking doesn't leave perfume on my husband's skin. Talking doesn't look like two people giggling outside a house at midnight. I blocked her. Jason came back once. Knocked on the door. Said he was sorry. Said he messed up. That it didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything? 17 years. A life. Memories. And he threw it away like it was nothing. I didn't let him in. And now, here I am. Writing this. I'm not looking for advice. I don't want sympathy. I just wanted to put this somewhere. Because maybe someone else out there is feeling that gut feeling, that quiet voice saying, something's off. Listen to it. Trust yourself. And if you ever do find yourself staring down betrayal, know that you don't have to go quietly. You don't have to scream either. Sometimes, the quietest revenge is the one they never see coming. I thought that moment, their faces frozen, standing in Megan's driveway, was the climax. I thought I'd drive away, lock the door, throw his things out, and that'd be it. But when you find out your life's been a lie, it doesn't just end. It cracks open. And things fall out you never expected. A week passed. Jason texted every day. Some messages were full of guilt. I'm sorry. Please just talk to me. Others were angry. You didn't have to humiliate me. I ignored them all. Then on the 8th day, he sent this. You think you're the victim? You've been cold for years. You pushed me away. I stared at that text for a long time. My fingers itched to respond. I typed out a reply. Deleted it. Typed it again. Deleted it again. Because it was a lie. I cooked for him. I rubbed his back when he came home from work tired. I asked about his day even when mine was a mess. I waded through layoffs, money issues, deaths in the family. I gave everything. And he gave my best friend the piece of him that was supposed to be mine. Then came the next twist. Megan's husband, Mike, called me. I hadn't heard from him since Christmas, when the four of us exchanged gag gifts and drank boxed wine in their living room. His voice was flat on the phone. No hello, no small talk. Just, when did you find out? I told him everything. The GPS, the late nights, the perfume. He was quiet for a second. Then he said, she told me I was crazy. That I was paranoid. She said the same to me, I replied. We were both living in the same gaslit nightmare. Then he said something I didn't expect. They've been doing this for a while. I hired someone. Up high. Got pictures. It started last year. My knees buckled. Last year? That would have been around the time I had bronchitis. I'd been stuck in bed for a week. Megan brought me soup. Jason made me tea. They were sleeping together while I was coughing up blood and thanking them for being there. I nearly threw up. Mike said he was filing for divorce. Had his lawyer send Megan papers. He sounded like a man already halfway out the door. But me? I felt stuck. Then something strange happened. I started getting emails. At first, I thought it was spam. But they were real. They came from women I didn't know. Local names. Names I vaguely recognized from social media. A few had profile pictures of smiling women, sometimes with kids. They all started the same way. I saw your post. I think we need to talk. One woman, Claire, said Jason had flirted with her at a bar downtown just 2 months ago. Another, Rachel, said he offered to help her fix her porch, then made a move on her. One woman even had screenshots, messages from a fake Instagram account he used, trying to be discreet. Jason hadn't just cheated. He'd been busy. Megan wasn't even the only one. She was just the one stupid enough to let it be obvious. I felt like I was unraveling. Every time I thought I knew how bad it was, it got worse. But with each message, my anger grew sharper, more focused. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. I started collecting everything. Screenshots, GPS logs, old photos with timestamps. I even pulled up old text messages where he lied, saying he was working late, while clearly being somewhere else. I created a folder on my computer, Truth, and then I got one more surprise. A message from a woman named Angie. She said, "I know Jason too. But not how you think." She was his ex-fiancé. Before me. She said she left him 2 weeks before their wedding because he cheated on her with her cousin. I had never even heard of her. She told me, "He has a pattern. You're not the first. You just stayed the longest." I sat at my dining table, staring at that message, hands shaking. I'd built a life with a man who had done this before. Repeatedly. He just got better at hiding it. Until he didn't. Then came the call I'll never forget. It was from a blocked number. I answered, thinking maybe it was a telemarketer. But it was Jason. His voice was frantic. Not like before. Not angry. Not sad. Scared. "They're calling me at work," he said. "What did you do?" I didn't say anything. "I could get fired," he said. "Do you want that?" "After everything we've been through." I said, "After everything we've been through? You mean the cheating? The lies?" He went quiet. I added, "I didn't make you do those things. I'm just making sure people see them." He cursed at me. Said I was vindictive. Said I was ruining his life. I hung up. That night, I printed the screenshots and mailed copies to his boss anonymously. But that wasn't the twist. The twist was, his boss was Megan's brother. And apparently, he didn't know. Until now. The fallout was instant. Jason was let go within a week. Not for cheating, but for misusing work hours, faking meetings, and using the company car for personal use. I hadn't even known about the company car. And Megan? She lost her job too. HR restructured her position. No formal reasons given, but let's be real, we all know why. Mike changed the locks. Filed a restraining order. Me? I'm sitting here with my laptop, typing all this out, thinking, this isn't even the end yet. Because something tells me they're going to try to fight back. And I'm ready. After Megan and Jason both got fired, I thought maybe they'd finally crawl back under whatever rock they came from. But they didn't. Instead, they tried to make me the villain. Jason started telling mutual friends that I was obsessed, that I was stalking him, that I was unstable. Megan told people I was overdramatic, that it was just emotional cheating, and they never actually slept together. I couldn't believe it. They weren't just cheaters. They were liars to the bitter end. The real kicker? Some people believed them. One of our mutual friends, Becky, actually messaged me and said, "I think you're dragging this on. Maybe it's time to move on." I blocked her. I blocked everyone who told me to be the bigger person. Because being the bigger person got me lied to, betrayed, and humiliated. So I decided I was going to be something else, the one who finished it. Remember that folder I made on my computer? The Truth folder? I used it. Created a website. Nothing fancy, just a free one. Password protected. No names directly listed, but the story was there. Timeline, pictures, faces blurred but situations obvious. Screenshots, GPS logs, and messages from other women, all organized like a case file. Then I messaged everyone who deserved to know the truth. Sent them the link. People from church. Neighbors. Old classmates. Megan's mom. And Megan's husband's entire extended family. They had no clue why Mike filed for divorce. Now they did. It spread like wildfire. And because I never use full names, there was nothing they could sue for. It was all anonymous story sharing. but everyone in Columbus could connect the dots. I found out they moved in together. A crappy apartment on the east side, above a laundromat. Megan went back to working part-time at a nail salon. Jason was doing DoorDash. Word is, they fought. A lot. One of the women who had messaged me before? She ran into them at a grocery store. Said Jason looked tired, Megan looked miserable. No rings. No smiles. Just silence between them. You know what they say. If he cheats with you, he'll cheat on you. Turns out, he did. She caught him sexting someone named Chloe. This time, she left him. I almost laughed when I heard. Now here's the part one have to admit. I made mistakes too. No, I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. But I ignored red flags. I let things slide. I didn't trust my gut when it screamed something was wrong. I waited to be respected instead of demanding it. That's on me. But I learned. And I promised myself, never again. One last thing happened. The cherry on top. Jason tried to take me to court. Claimed I had damaged his reputation and cost him his job. I showed the judge the emails from the other women. The GPS logs. The photos. The texts where he admitted to lying. The judge looked at him and said, "You're lucky she hasn't sued you. Case dismissed." And just like that, he was done. That was the last time I saw him. He walked out of the courtroom alone. No job. No partner. No reputation. And nowhere left to pin the blame. It's been 8 months. I sleep better. I started therapy. I picked up painting again. Sold some of my wreaths to a local boutique. I even started dating someone, not serious yet, but he's kind, honest, calming. And most of all, I like me again. Jason and Megan thought they broke me. They just showed me how strong I am. So if you're reading this and you're sitting with that same gut feeling I had, trust it. Don't wait. Don't doubt yourself. And if they betray you, don't scream. Don't cry. Just make sure they remember who they messed with. Forever.